Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA, and today, Thursday, we have to talk about a lot of stuff. It is not only Kylian Mbappe, it is not only Erling Haaland, but also the most shocking news that I heard last night. The problem is last night we also had the game against Athletic de Bilbao, and apparently the people didn't pay attention enough to this news, but it's so important because it's related to Robert Lewandowski, his future in Real Madrid. So stay tuned in the show because it's going to be very exciting for all y'all guys. Next one, I wanted to first start talking about a little bit what the press and the media and outlets and websites and stuff are talking about after the game against Athletic de Bilbao, because they are still talking about not the victory of Real Madrid, but also how or the way we lost a little bit control of the game in the second 45 minutes. I mean, there are actually more people criticizing today to Real Madrid for those second 45 minutes than people praising Real Madrid, praising Ancelotti and the players for the good work, for the good job they did winning to Athletic de Bilbao, because it was a very important win for us. But apparently what is today most important, allegedly, is the super bad second 45 minutes that we had against Athletic de Bilbao. So it's pretty much that. I mean, even Carlo Ancelotti recognized it. I mean, he said in the press conference, yeah, we have quality enough to play way better, to play much better and all the stuff, but this kind of things happen. And of course, I like when we don't have any other thing, when we don't have any other strategy, when we ran out of ideas, when we don't even know what to do, we still have the ethic, the authority to win the game with only one single goal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that is the point. That is what I said in the video yesterday right after the game. My point was pretty much okay, we didn't walk over Athletic de Bilbao like we didn't against Sevilla, because during the whole season you have to know you will come across a lot of teams that they will throw a lot of rocks on the way, and they will put everything super difficult for you to win over them, and it's pretty obvious that they want to win as well, right? So it is not, sometimes to me, the people tend to think that every single game for Real Madrid is going to be very easy, but it's not. Teams like Athletic de Bilbao, Sevilla, these teams are teams that are all the time fighting for the first 4 or 5 positions in La Liga, right? They are super competitive. They normally are very well organized. They have very good players, and they will put everything so difficult for you to win, right? So when you have to face off them, it is pretty obvious that it's going to be a very exciting game, but it's going to be difficult as well, right? So if the people don't want to understand something that to me it is pretty basic, man, I don't get it. I don't understand why they don't understand how difficult can be to win La Liga or the Champions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really understand all this criticism and all the people blasting to Carlo Ancelotti or the players just because they ran out of ideas, they ran out of a strategy, they lost control completely of the game in the second 45 minutes, and actually Athletic de Bilbao was very close to draw the game and get 1 point and all the stuff. Man, that happens. So these kind of games are, valuable, even more valuable as well, because you also have to win, and not every single game you will walk over the rival. No, that is not going to happen. It is not like against Granada or Sheriff Tiraspol 0-3 or 4-1 or things like that. Not every single game is like that. So, but you even have to add up the 3 points in this kind of games. So to me, man, I'm not saying, okay, we did a great job, it was incredible, it was amazing, but no, I'm not going to say that. I recognize we didn't play as well as we did in the first 45 minutes. That's true, right? But to me, as long as you can keep adding points and keep moving forward and keep topping the standings 7 points ahead of the second one, is good enough, right? But I don't know, it's different opinions and different people thinking about that and commenting and all the stuff. But what I don't understand, man, is why the people is blasting right now to Carlo Ancelotti and Real Madrid and all the stuff, but it's okay. Now let's move on and let's get started talking about the most interesting news, because it's of course related to, as usual, Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, and of course Robert Lewandowski. I'm going to start with Kylian Mbappe today, and the reason for that is because last night in El Chiringuito, as you know, Kylian Mbappe, a author, a writer has published a kind of biography of the player, but in a comic, right? It's not like the standard book, right? It's just a comic. So in that comic, they are pretty much talking about his life when he was a kid, when he was young, when he was a teenager, all his dreams as a soccer player and all the stuff. And in El Chiringuito, they highlighted the chapter when he's talking about his mom to become a Real Madrid player. So that is the most juicy part of the book, of the comic, just because he's saying, and it's a kind of story where his mom is handing him the Real Madrid jersey, but apparently that jersey is not the real one, it's a fake one, and he notices he notices that it's something weird, and he says, no, this is not this is not the real one, so I want to wear just the real one. And then he replies to his mom saying, one day I will wear the authentic Real Madrid jersey when I become a Real Madrid player. So for El Chiringuito, it was just incredible, and for Los Madridistas as well, because what it's telling us is pretty much Kylian Mbappe has been dreaming with playing in Real Madrid for so long, since he was a kid. So there's no money in the world, there's no offer in the world, there's no team in the world able to stop the signing of Kylian Mbappe for Real Madrid, because this is just about the dream come true. You know what I'm saying? This is not about the salary, this is not about the competitiveness that the team and Paris Saint-Germain has over or versus Real Madrid. It is about a kid dreaming with playing in Real Madrid. That's it. So now, every time we hear about the last offer of Paris Saint-Germain to Kylian Mbappe, there's no point in keep offering more and more and more money, because for Kylian Mbappe, it's just about a dream. You know what I'm saying? And now he's going to fulfill this dream playing for Real Madrid. So for Los Madridistas, it's great. Of course, this story in the comic, you can buy it, I think if you go to Amazon, it is probably for sale now, so you can get it. It's a kind of biography, right? But instead of book, it's just a comic, so it's gonna be more entertaining, especially if you're super young guys, kids, or you want to give it away to your kids or something. I think that you can get it on Amazon, right? So the thing is, the player will play for Real Madrid because he's determined to play in Real Madrid since he was a kid. So there's no point in keeping more or still throwing more renewal offers and stuff, because there's nothing they can do about that. So now let me move on and let's keep talking about Erling Haaland this time, just because according to this is from Bild in Germany. Bild is the newspaper in Germany, and they say Borussia Dortmund has found already the perfect replacement, the substitute of Erling Haaland for the next year, because they are assuming pretty much he will leave Borussia Dortmund and he will sign for another big name, another big team in Europe. Let me tell you, by the way, this morning we learned Manchester United is preparing about 120 million euros for signing Erling Haaland for the next year. So there will be a super massive and crowded race for signing Erling Haaland next year. So it's not going to be only Real Madrid. Well, let me tell you what, last week Mario Cortegana from Goal, he claimed Erling Haaland already has picked to Real Madrid to play next year. So let's see what happens. But the thing is, Borussia Dortmund has already found the substitute, the replacement for Erling Haaland, and he's called Darwin Núñez. He plays for Benfica, and he has scored 8 goals in 10 games in the Portuguese league. It is pretty much the kind of profile Borussia Dortmund really likes, because he's young, it's 22 years old, he's been scoring very often, 8 goals in 10 games, 3 more goals in the Champions. So he's one of the most prominent players in the Portuguese league. So that is the kind of profile, the kind of player Borussia Dortmund really likes and wants to replace Erling Haaland. A young player for another young player, and promising player and prominent player and all the stuff for the next year, right? So that is great, because that means Borussia Dortmund is assuming Erling Haaland will leave next year, and probably he travels all the way, hopefully, to Madrid. I mean, not sure about that yet, but the chances for us to hire Erling Haaland, to sign Erling Haaland, if Borussia Dortmund already has another player, I mean, skyrocket, right? So that is good. But it's what I said 5 minutes ago. And there will be a very crowded race, a very packed race, because there will be a lot of teams fighting for the signing of Erling Haaland, because as you know, he not quite often, but sometimes he has hinted all his passion and love for the Premier League. I mean, actually, one of the friends of Erling Haaland, very close friend of the Norwegian player, claimed the other day that he is a supporter and a fan of Leeds United, right? So, in somehow, Erling Haaland really likes the Premier League, so we can't rule out for now that he will play for any team of the Premier League or something like that. I mean, if you ask to me, what I would say is pretty much Erling Haaland will sign for Real Madrid, just because there are reasons enough for us to think he will play for Real Madrid. The first thing is the relationship with Mino Raiola. Second thing is because the father of the player was in Valdebebas last month of May. So he was visiting Valdebebas because he wanted to know what kind of facilities Real Madrid has for the players and all the stuff. And I think that there are, and of course the information from Mario Cartagena, who claims Erling Haaland will play for Real Madrid, or has picked to Real Madrid as his possible team and stuff, or his next team. So there are reasons enough for us to think he will play for Real Madrid, but I mean, I don't know. This is not like Kylian Mbappe signing. This is a completely different story, so we will have to wait a little bit more. So now let me move on, and now let's talk about the most important news of the day, which is about Robert Lewandowski. Okay, what happened last night before the game, Real Madrid Athletic de Bilbao? And not many people paid attention to those news, because nobody really was reading the papers when they were watching the game, right? But it happened. Apparently, according to Bild, Robert Lewandowski has already spoken to his agent and has let him know that he has to prioritize any kind of offer from Real Madrid above any other offer else. I mean, if there's another team really interested in signing him, I mean, the priority for now is Real Madrid. So what Robert Lewandowski really wants to happen is pretty much, let's hold on, let's hang on, and then wait for a Real Madrid offer. If that offer comes through, he has told to Pini Sahibi is his agent, has told to Pini Sahibi, if a single offer from Real Madrid comes through, then go ahead and negotiate my next contract and the signing for Real Madrid. If any single offer from Real Madrid comes through, then you are free to negotiate with whoever it is, because apparently Robert Lewandowski wants to get out of, wants out from Bayern de Munich. He wants to quit. For any reason we don't know. Apparently he doesn't want to renew, he doesn't want to continue in Bayern de Munich, and apparently he's looking for, to expand and explore another options, and apparently Real Madrid is there, and of course Real Madrid is in the top of the teams Robert Lewandowski wants to play in, right? So it is very important for us, because he is the true winner of the Ballon d'Or 2021 and 2020, and of course that would be great, because every time we think about Robert Lewandowski, everybody thinks about his age. But the problem is, to me, that is not important. Because if you look at the physique that this guy has, it is just amazing. He's in a great shape. And to me, Robert Lewandowski still can play and score and keep these stats that he already has in Bayern de Munich for so long. Because he's ready to go, he's 100% shape, he's super fit, super focused, super experienced player, which is very important. His expertise is incredible. He has a lot of hours of flight in this plane, so to me, he really knows what to do. He has a lot of experience, and of course that would be great if we fail to sign Erling Haaland. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is pretty much Real Madrid will try to sign Erling Haaland, right? But if we are unable to sign Erling Haaland, then we might go ahead and reconsider the possibility for us to sign Robert Lewandowski. I'm not saying that is going to happen. I mean, actually, I'd say in the to-do list of Real Madrid, Robert Lewandowski is not one of the tasks we have to accomplish, right? I mean, it is not the priority, it's not something even important, but if certain circumstances happen, then Real Madrid might reconsider the situation and say, hey, maybe it's a good choice for us to sign Robert Lewandowski maybe for a couple of years before Erling Haaland gets free from his contract, or his contract in Borussia Dortmund expires or something like that, and then we can go ahead and try to sign him later or something like that. But for now, I don't think Real Madrid is super interested in Robert Lewandowski. That doesn't mean the player doesn't want to play for Real Madrid. Actually, he wants to play for Real Madrid. That'd be another dream come true. I mean, it was about to happen in 2013. He was super close to sign for Real Madrid. It didn't happen eventually, but it can happen in the future. So let's see what happens. And of course, I will let you know as soon as I know something. Now, let me know your thoughts about that, guys. Just comment in the section below. And of course,